Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. It might seem as if the Yankees should do anything to remove Jacoby Ellsbury from the roster, so when another club poses even the least bit of interest in his services, strong consideration must be given by New York. According to ESPN's Buster Olney, the Giants have held internal discussions about Ellsbury and the club's potential opening in center field. Olney suggests the old bad contract for bad contract swap, which is sometimes effective for both clubs. Olney goes on to list several Giants players that at least match up closely in the salary department, with Ellsbury's remaining $47+ million. What are the pros and cons to the Yankees waving the white flag and pulling the trigger in a deal for Ellsbury? Why dealing Ellsbury makes sense? The Yankees are knee-deep in outfielders and Ellsbury sits last on the depth chart at the major league level. Assuming he is healthy enough to play, the Yankees would be hard-pressed to find time for Ellsbury to take the field. With Ellsbury set to earn over $21 million in 2019, that's an awful lot of payroll funds attributed to a bench player. Even if Ellsbury was able to play due to a teammate's injury, it remains to be seen how effective he would be considering the ample loss of time in recent seasons. Would the Yankees sacrifice better options like Clint Frazier simply because they are on the hook for Ellsbury? If the Yankees did go that route, how long would they wait for Ellsbury to produce? While Ellsbury helps the Yankees best by being off the roster, the question remains, at what cost? Why? The potential returns do not fit Brandon Belt. Are the Yankees convinced that Greg Bird or Luke Voit, or both in a platoon setting, will be sufficient at first base? Bird has an injury history as long as Voigt's minor league resume, so there are no assurances with either player. Belt, who is owed $51.6 million, has missed 108 games over the past 2 seasons, which should bring some caution despite above-average offensive numbers, 115 ops in 2018. The cost basis for Belt's production when the club would be paying far less for both Bird and Voit combined with a greater upside makes little sense. Johnny Cueto is owed approximately $70 over the next 3 seasons, but the Yankees could collect some insurance on the right-hander, who is out for much of 2019 as he recuperates from Tommy John surgery. Cueto could provide the Yankees with some rotation depth at the end of the season and through 2021. However, without knowing Cueto's ability to come back strong at 34 years old, he could become a significant impediment to the roster configuration. Evan Longoria is owed about $60 million over the next 4 years, so the roster crunch would go much deeper in terms of time than Ellsbury. If the Yankees are uninterested in adding Manny Machado, falling back on AL Rookie of the Year award runner-up Miguel Andujar makes a lot more sense at third base than going anywhere near Longoria. Jeff Samardzija. Yes, the Yankees are reportedly seeking rotation depth and Samardzija fits the flyer type in that department. Samardzija has potential injury issues of his own. He made just 10 starts in 2018, and his production was lackluster when he took the mound. At 34 years old, the Yankees would be better off using one of several internal and younger candidates or making a minimal commitment to a pitcher on a minor league deal, rather than take on Samardzija. Bottom line, the Yankees would clearly be better off with Ellsbury removed from the roster, but the premise of taking on a similar bad contract is not always more appealing. That appears to be the case with the players from the Giants' side of any potential trade. The Yankees may eventually realize they are better off releasing Ellsbury and dealing with the cash ramifications only versus adding back another roster imperfection. Related, why James Paxton should avoid same Yankees fate that befell Sonny Gray greater than Reed Moore. Related, Yankees potential plan for Nolan Arenado might have just hit snag greater than Reed Moore. Martino, Yankees, Mets. Still engaged in free agent market, looking at starting pitching depth greater than Reed Moore. Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Long before erasing Sonny Gray from memory, the Yankees pulled off a similarly wishful trade for James Paxton with the hope that he will succeed where Gray could not, by ascending to the top of the club's rotation depth chart. The Yankees were mistaken with Gray and the team absolutely cannot endure a repeat experience with the 30-year-old Paxton. We've already described why Luis Severino might not be able to carry the Yankees' rotation alone, and as such, Paxton's performance in 2019 is tantamount to the club's success. New York Yankees right fielder Aaron Judge reacts to a fan in the 11th inning against the Miami Marlins at Marlins Park. Steve Mitchell, USA Today Sports. Aaron Judge wants free agent Bryce Harper to make the right choice in selecting a team. But he's willing to make that choice easier by voluntarily opting to change positions for the outfielder. With 1 week to go until pitchers and catchers report for spring training, Harper is still shopping the market for the right team. The Yankees are not totally out of the running for the MVP, but they're not showing signs of landing him either. So Judge, the implied spokesperson of the Yankees, took matters in his own hands during an interview with TMZ. Jacoby Ellsbury, 22, mandatory credit. Kim Clement, USA Today Sports. Kim Clement, the Yankees may have an opportunity to rid themselves of Jacoby Ellsbury. Per ESPN's Buster Olney, the San Francisco Giants are looking for outfield help, and have discussed Ellsbury as a potential option by acquiring him through a bad contract swap. Whether or not they have discussed details with the Yankees is unconfirmed, but regardless of how the Giants may present a deal, the money would have to even out. September 30, 2018, Denver, Colorado, USA. Colorado Rockies third baseman Nolan Arenado, 28, celebrates his second home run of the game, a solo home run in the 7th inning against the Washington Nationals at Coors Field. Mandatory credit. Ron Shinoy, USA Today Sports. Ron Shinoy, if the Yankees' real third base target is Nolan Arenado, as SNY's Andy Martino reported on Jan. 18 could be the case, they might want to rethink that strategy. Arenado, who is in the final year of team control with the Rockies, recently avoided arbitration by agreeing to a one-year deal worth $26 million. And the nature of the negotiations left Rockies owner Dick Monfort feeling confident the team will be able to sign Arenado long-term before he gets a chance to taste free agency. Monfort said the two sides avoiding arbitration sorts of put to rest on both sides that we want Nolan and Nolan wants to be with us. March 24, 2018, Lakeland, FL, USA. General view of the field as the Philadelphia Phillies take batting practice prior to the game against the Detroit Tigers at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium. Mandatory credit. Douglas DeFellis, USA Today Sports. Douglas DeFellis, Andy Martino, SNY.TV. Twitter. With less than 2 weeks before pitchers and catchers report to spring training, dozens and dozens of quality Major League free agents remain jobless. But there are no plans for the Players Association to repeat last year's experiment with a training camp for unsigned players, according to Major League sources. Last year, approximately 30 Major League players, including recognizable names like Mike Napoli, Neil Walker and Tyler Clippard, attended what came to be known as Camp Jobless, in Bradenton, Florida. The idea was to keep in shape and be ready when a team called late into spring training. New York Yankees right fielder Esteban Florial hits an RBI single during the 4th inning against the Detroit Tigers at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium. Kim Clement, USA Today Sports. The Yankees farm system is not what it used to be. ESPN's Keith Law produced his rankings of all 30 MLB farm systems this week, and the Yankees saw a significant drop from Law's 2018 preseason rank, falling to 19th from 2nd overall. Much of the reason for fall is because many of the Yankees' top prospects from last season, such as Gleyber Torres and Miguel Andujar, are now on the MLB roster. New York Yankees starting pitcher Luis Severino throws a pitch to the Toronto Blue Jays during the first inning of a baseball game, Saturday, August 18, 2018, in New York. AP photo, Julio Cortez. AP, Yankees RHP Luis Severino was ranked MLB Network's 8th best pitcher in the league. The 24-year-old Severino, who went 19-8 with a 3.39 ERA in 32 starts in 2018, was the 4th best pitcher in the American League, trailing Boston's Chris Sale, 2nd, Cleveland's Corey Kluber, 4th, and Houston's Justin Verlander, 5th. Among National League pitchers, Max Scherzer was ranked number 1, Jacob deGrom 3rd, Aaron Nola 6th and Clayton Kershaw 7th. The Indians' Carlos Carrasco, 9th, and the Rays' Blake Snell, 10th, rounded out the top 10. October 2, 2018, Bronx, NY, USA, New York Yankees pitcher CC Sabathia throws the ball during workouts one day before the 2018 American League wildcard playoff baseball game at Yankee Stadium. Mandatory credit, Danielle Parhaskaran / NorthJersey.com via USA Today Sports. Danielle Parhaskaran, CC Sabathia cannot believe that Manny Machado and Bryce Harper are still free agents. The Yankees' starting pitcher, who resigned a one-year deal with the Yankees in November, expressed his shock at the current state of free agency this week on his podcast, R2C2, with Ryan Ruocco. "It's crazy. So crazy to me," Sabathia said. "I don't know what's happening. I have no answers. I just think it's f***ing nuts." Andy Martino, SNY.TV, Twitter. The slow free agent market has left many quality players available in February, and the Yankees and Mets remain engaged with agents, looking for ways to improve. While both teams have likely completed the bulk of their off-season work and are happy with their respective rosters, both continue to monitor the market for starting pitching depth. Neither Brian Cashman nor Brodie Van Wagenen is wired to sit back and disengage when potential upgrades remain available. New York Yankees right fielder Esteban Florial hits an RBI single during the fourth inning against the Detroit Tigers at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium. Kim Clement, USA Today Sports. The Yankees announced on Friday 21 non-roster invites to spring training this year. The group includes 13 signed to minor league contracts and 8 farm hands. Perhaps the most notable non-roster invite is outfielder Esteban Florial, who is ranked as the Yankees' top prospect by MLB Pipeline. Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter. About Me, Archives. Mariano Rivera couldn't do it. Neither could Derek Jeter. Now, it is CC Sabathia's chance to walk away from the game with the World Series trophy in his hands. After signing his one-year, $8 million deal with the Yankees, Sabathia proclaimed that he would be retiring at season's end. The ultimate goal for Sabathia has always been a title, and the core of this Yankees squad has provided the 38-year-old enough for one last shot. September 27, 2018, St. Petersburg, FL, USA, New York Yankees third baseman Neil Walker, 14, looks on during the first inning at Tropicana Field. Mandatory credit, Kim Clement, USA Today Sports. Kim Clement, Anthony McCarron, SNY.TV, Twitter. There are stars, bargains, and talent that's in between still remaining on baseball's free agent market, even though it sometimes seems the pilot light has gone out on the hot stove season. But does waiting too long to sign with a team negatively impact the kind of season a player figures to have? Neil Walker thinks so and has the worst month and a half of my entire career last year to offer as evidence. Walker signed with the Yankees on March 12 and had a lousy start to a subpar season, with his lack of a proper spring training at least partly to blame, the veteran says. Andy Martino, SNY.TV, Twitter. The centennial of Jackie Robinson's birth presents the opportunity to honor one of the 20th century's great civil rights pioneers, and celebrate baseball's long-ago role in that struggle. But it should also be an occasion to remember Robinson for what he really was, a thoughtful, nuanced and righteously angry public figure whose ideas were sharp enough that they would still be highly controversial today, if people took the time to consider them. One of the great aspects of Robinson's true legacy is that if he were active now in public life, he would be as controversial as Colin Kaepernick, whose football career ended because he took a knee during the anthem. And please don't waste our time by saying that his blackballing happened for any other reason. John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter. Last year there was a relatively simple answer to the question of why baseball's free agent market was frozen. Wait till next year. Only here it is, next year, and two of the most desirable free agents to ever hit the market, Bryce Harper and Manny Machado at age 26, are among the 100-plus major leaguers still unsigned as spring training approaches, so now it's clear the climate officially has changed in the way teams are doing business. The Yankees have been in pursuit of free agent 3B Manny Machado, who is reportedly looking for a deal that will pay him roughly $300 million over 10 years. Here are the latest rumors. Jan. 30, 5:52 p.m. Even though there are several teams interested in Machado with nearly 2 weeks to go before pitchers and catchers report to spring training, a decision is not considered imminent, according to Fox Sports' John Morosi, and he has not yet met with Padres officials. Chicago White Sox pitcher Danny Farquhar reacts after throwing out a ceremonial first pitch after suffering a brain hemorrhage prior to a game between the Chicago White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers at Guaranteed Rate Field. Patrick Gorski, USA Today Sports veteran relief pitcher Danny Farquhar vowed to return to the baseball diamond from a life-threatening brain hemorrhage and ruptured aneurysm he suffered last year. And there's a 4-game window in June he's eyeing. Farquhar, who hasn't pitched since last April when he suffered a season-ending brain hemorrhage, signed a minor league deal with the Yankees earlier this month with an invite to spring training. New York Yankees outfielder Esteban Florial during the Arizona Fall League All-Star Game at Surprise Stadium, Mark J. Rebels, USA Today Sports, in ranking the top 100 prospects in baseball, ESPN's Keith Law believes the Yankees' top prospect isn't outfielder Esteban Florial. Law only had one Yankee in his top prospects list, RHP Davy Garcia, while Florial and outfielder Everson Pereira made Law's, who just missed the top 10, list. Luis Severino, Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. Every baseball club with realistic postseason aspirations requires an anchor for the starting rotation. The proverbial ace World Series championship caliber teams are led by a stalwart, ever-dependent hurler that dominates more often than not or digs deep and wins when his stuff is not at its best. This pitcher exudes a bulldog mentality, provides 30-plus regular season starts, and once games reach playoff intensity there isn't a hint of concern from his club when he's on the mound. The Yankees believe they have groomed this type of pitcher in soon-to-be 25-year-old right-hander Luis Severino. But if he isn't what they're hoping for, they could be in serious trouble this season. Yankees RHP Jonathan Loaizaga, Adam Hunger, USA Today Sports. The Yankees had 2 players named to the new Baseball Prospectus Top 101 Prospects list, and the same players were their only 2 representatives on MLB Pipeline's new Top 100 Prospects list. Esteban Florial, no. 57, and RHP Jonathan Loaizaga, no. 66, made the cut for the Yanks. Florial was no. 66 on the Baseball Prospectus list, while Florial was no. 66. Former Yankees prospect Justice Sheffield, who was dealt to the Mariners in the trade for IHP James Paxton, came in at no. 43 on MLB Pipeline's list, September 28, 2018, Denver, Colorado, USA. Colorado Rockies relief pitcher Adam Ottavino, 0, delivers a pitch in the 8th inning against the Washington Nationals at Coors Field. Mandatory credit, Russell Lansford, USA Today Sports. Russell Lansford, before joining the Yankees, veteran bullpen arm Adam Ottavino made a very bold claim about one of their most celebrated players not just in franchise history, but in the history of the game. Ottavino said he would strike out Babe Ruth every time, on MLB's StatCast podcast, and it made headlines pretty quickly. Well, Ottavino thought it smart to walk back those comments a tad during his first conference call with New York media on Friday afternoon. According to The Athletic's Lindsay Adler, Ottavino admitted that while explaining the evolution of baseball, he could have chose a better example than the great Bambino. New York Yankees former pitchers Mike Mussina and Mariano Rivera put on jerseys at a press conference after being elected into the Hall of Fame. Danielle Parr-Hiskern/NorthJersey.com via USA Today Network. Since Mike Mussina was elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame on Tuesday, he's had one burning question facing him: Yankees or Orioles cap? Well, a decision has been made. Yankees sign with Adam Ottavino. 0 hours 0 minutes and 39 seconds. SNY Baseball insider Andy Martino likes the Yankees signing of Adam Ottavino. Here's how he thinks it will impact their Alley's chances. The Yankees have signed free agent reliever Adam Ottavino to a 3-year contract through the 2021 season, the team announced on Thursday. The deal was reported to be worth $27 million. Ottavino will wear no. 0 for the Yankees, becoming the first player in franchise history to sport the uniform number. After the official signing, the Yankees' 40-man roster is now at 40 players. Ottavino, 33, is coming off a huge season where he had a 2.43 ERA, 2.74 FIP, and 112 strikeouts in 77.2 innings, or a 13K/9 ratio, and did it while pitching his home games hitter-friendly Coors Field with the Rockies. His 0.99 WHIP in 2018 was much improved from a 1.63 WHIP with a 5.06 ERA in 2017. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred gestures while speaking during a Major League Baseball owners meeting on Tuesday, February 20, 2018 in Glendale, Arizona. AP photo, Ben Margo, AP. Major League Baseball is proposing new rule changes. According to Ronald Bloom of the Associated Press, the league wants to return to a 15-day disabled list and increase the time option players must spend in the minor leagues. The purpose of these changes would be to reduce the use of relief pitchers and revive offense. Mariano Rivera pitched a scoreless 9th inning. AP. Re-enter Sandman. Mariano Rivera, elected unanimously to the Baseball Hall of Fame on Tuesday, plans to be involved with the Yankees again in 2019. In an interview with MLB Network Radio's C.J. Nitkowski on Thursday, the former Yankees closer revealed he will be teaching pitching in some capacity with the team this year. New York Yankees former pitchers Mike Mussina and Mariano Rivera put on jerseys at a press conference after being elected into the Hall of Fame. Danielle Parhiskern/NorthJersey.com via USA Today Network. Mike Mussina still can't get used to the fact he can call himself a Hall of Famer. On his 6th year on the ballot, Mussina received 76.7% of the Baseball Writers Association of America's vote, and will join Mariano Rivera, Edgar Martinez, and the late Roy Halladay in Cooperstown. But Mussina has a question to answer: which cap will he don? When Mariano Rivera was elected to the Hall of Fame in unanimous fashion on Tuesday, pretty much everyone, including SNY, noted that he was the first ever unanimous selection. Specifically, it was noted that Rivera was the first player to ever be named on 100% of the ballots that were submitted. But was he really the first unanimous selection to the National Baseball Hall of Fame? Is there a chance another legendary Yankee was actually the first unanimous selection? August 13, 2016, Bronx, NY, USA. Former New York Yankees Derek Jeter leaves the field following a ceremony for the reunion of the 1996 World Series championship team prior to a game against the Tampa Bay Rays at Yankee Stadium. Mandatory credit: Adam Hunger, USA Today Sports. Adam Hunger, Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. Babe Ruth and many others couldn't do it, and so went the notion that no player would ever be enshrined in the National Baseball Hall of Fame while amassing 100% of the vote. That's until Mariano Rivera perfectly closed out his first appearance on the ballot. Mariano Rivera Hoff presser 0 hours 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Mariano Rivera speaks about his love for wearing pinstripes, Edgar Martinez always giving him trouble, and more at his Hoff press conference. On Tuesday night, Mariano Rivera was not only told he would enter the Baseball Hall of Fame this summer, but he was the first ever player to receive 100% of votes. So, as one would expect, Rivera was all smiles and laughs at the Hall of Fame press conference that involved Edgar Martinez and former teammate Mike Mussina, as well as the family of the late Roy Halladay, who was also elected to the Hall. From his lowest points to his highest, Rivera reflected on how he eventually became the best closer in the game. And he also told Martinez that he owes him dinner for helping him get into the Hall, too. Best of Mike Mussina. Hoff sound 0 hours 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Mike Mussina was elected to the Hall of Fame. He talks everything from favorite moments to almost being perfect. To say Mike Mussina was a little caught off guard about getting voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame would be an understatement. Messina was coaching his son's basketball team when he got the official call that he had made it, and that type of humor continued in his official press conference with the other inductees Edgar Martinez, fellow Yankee Mariano Rivera, and the Roy Halladay family on hand. Moose reflected on his rise to the Hall of Fame, touching on the numerous almosts from his multiple no-hitters in World Series win. New York Yankees starting pitcher Sonny Gray delivers a pitch during the first inning of a baseball game against the Baltimore Orioles, Friday, June 1, 2018, in Baltimore. AP photo, Nick Waz's AP, "It's not you, it's me." The aftermath of the Sonny Gray and New York Yankees breakup revealed the right-hander has no explanation for what went wrong in New York. Whatever it was about the Bronx that made Gray pitch like a ghost of himself, rather than Oakland's all-star ground ball pitcher, served as a point of self-reflection for the 29-year-old. "That's the question, isn't it?" Gray told reporters during a conference call on Tuesday when asked what went wrong. "I'm not going to lie. I felt comfortable taking the mound. I felt good. It just didn't work out. I don't know. I don't have an answer." Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. The Yankees have a loaded outfield. Overloaded, in fact. New York's 25-man roster will consist of 5 outfielders, all of whom have been above average to elite players at varying points during their careers. 2 of those outfielders are Jacoby Ellsbury and Brett Gardner, both 35 years old and on the wrong side of their production curves. They are potentially blocking 24-year-old Clint Frazier, who some believe can become an above-average outfielder himself. The Yankees' plans for Frazier appear hazy from the outside at this point. Frazier has plenty of potential and we have seen the electricity he can bring to the lineup. However, his 2018 season was wrought with the after-effects of a concussion that he simply could not shake. Frazier has been deemed healthy and according to his social media remarks, he is ready to fight for the starting job in left field. New York Yankees right fielder Esteban Florial hits an RBI single during the 4th inning against the Detroit Tigers at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium. Kim Clement, USA Today Sports. The Yankees have 2 players on the new Baseball Prospectus Top 101 prospects list, and one they traded away in the deal for James Paxton also made the cut. RHP Jonathan Loaisiga, no. 64, and of Esteban Florial, no. 66, made it for the Yanks, while LHP Justice Sheffield, who was sent to Seattle for Paxton, came in at no. 50. As far as the rest of the alleys, the Blue Jays' Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was no. 1 on the list, with Toronto having 3 other representatives, including SS Bo Bichette, who came in at no. 12. The Rays, who have one of the best farm systems in baseball, had 6 players on the list, while the Orioles had 3 and the Red Sox had none. Former baseball player Alex Rodriguez sits in the stands before the start of a baseball game, Friday, June 23, 2017, in Miami. The Marlins announced the signings of their first 3 draft picks on Friday. 13 overall selection, Trevor Rogers, number 36 overall pick Brian Miller and number 51 Joe Dunand, a Miami native and Rodriguez's nephew. AP photo, Wilfred O'Lee, AP, 7-time Cy Young Award winner Roger Clemens and all-time home run leader Barry Bonds are making small steps in their pursuit of Hall of Fame nods. The athletes with tainted pasts began under the 40% mark of votes on their first try in 2014 and worked their way up to nearly 60% of votes in 2019.